And then if you want to give online, many say, just how do I give make my card? How do I give a love gift with my card? You can do that by going to the website, and that's restoremn.org. Restoremn.org. So you can go there now on your phone or later today or whatever. Don't forget, put a reminder, don't forget to restoremn.org, and you can give online with your card that way. So, yeah, that's what I got. So I want to thank you for being generous, and in addition to what you give, Lighthouse is also going to add to that, but we just want to make sure that we sow into this great work that's happening, and I'm so glad that you're here today, and I just, again, thank you for taking this. The time's going way too fast, isn't it? So we're gonna have part 2 sometime here, Dale. So come on, welcome Dale back.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Just so you know, and I so appreciate your generosity there, Bill. The first thing you should know is money given to Restore Minnesota, whatever that amount is, the first place it's going to go is going to help cover the prayer event that we're doing on Monday. So just so you know what you're some of what you're giving to. You're not just giving to us so we can actually go buy lunch, right, or pay our bills, but it's going to a Restore Minnesota event as well, so that you are contributing to us getting the gospel in front of our government officials on this Monday. So that's how timely it is, okay? So let's work on wrapping this thing up, all right? Acts chapter 17, verses 1 through 9. In Acts chapter 16, that chapter is most famous for Paul and Silas, who've been beaten because they've been preaching the gospel. They got thrown into jail, and they were unlawfully and unfairly beaten in the Philippian jail. And they required the magistrates to come and apologize to them. So chapter 16 is all about that messy situation of how they were persecuted and beaten and abused for being ambassadors in a very unpopular place. So then they went over to Thessalonica. When they had passed through Amphipolis and Apollonia, they came to Thessalonica, where there was a synagogue of the Jews. So now they're going to the synagogue in this Greek city. Paul went in, as was his custom. It was normal for him to go to church or go to synagogue. The guy's a rabbi, a Pharisee. It's probably normal for him to get together, to not forsake assembling with others. Thank God they didn't have live streaming back then. Just saying. He went in, and on 3 Sabbath days. When was a Sabbath for the Jews? Saturday. So he's there for at least 3 weeks, right? So 3 Sabbath days. He reasoned with them from the scriptures. So he took the Old Testament, he explained to them and proved it was necessary for the Christ to suffer, to rise from the dead, and said, "This Jesus whom I proclaim to you is the Christ." That was my little prolepsis diagram. Okay? Some of them were persuaded, and they joined Paul and Silas, as did a great many of the devout Greeks. Go Greeks. Go Jews. And not a few of the leading women. So that's another way of saying a lot of the leading women in the community. But the Jews were jealous, and taking some wicked men of the rabble, they formed a mob. They set the city in an uproar. They attacked the house of Jason, seeking to bring them out to the crowd. So we don't know a lot about Jason. Jason was probably one of the biblical leaders in the area, and he was the one who used his home for Paul and Silas and some of the followers to stay during that 3-week period of time. And so they're attacking the house. They get these people out. They want to pull them out. And when they could not find them, what'd they do? They grabbed Jason. And they dragged Jason and some of the brothers before the city authorities. Took him to the government officials. Didn't take him to the synagogue, didn't take him to the rabbi, took him to the city authorities. The ungodly leaders. And they said, they were shouting, "These men who have turned the world upside down have come here also, and Jason has received him, and they are all acting against the decrees of Caesar, saying there is another king, Jesus." They turned the world upside down. I don't know about you, but that fires me up. I can't think of anything more exciting than when we go into our communities with our community action teams and in a Christ-centered, dignified, and respectful way, we turn school boards upside down. In a respectful, dignified way, we turn city councils upside down. In a dignified, respectful way, we turn the county commissioners upside down. Now, we don't go in to destroy, we go in to serve. We go in first to say, thank you for running for office. Thank you for what you're doing. How can we help? What needs are you identifying in the community? And how can we get engaged? And then at the same time, when we find out things that are being done that we know are completely contrary to law, contrary to biblical righteousness, contrary to morality, then we want to find those people that we can raise up to replace, put them in positions so we can turn our world upside down and start creating an atmosphere for kingdom values to reign in our communities. How about in businesses? How about for those business owners who are the entrepreneurs, the ones who lead the community as entrepreneurs, and they need to understand, particularly if they're Christians, what their kingly and priestly role is to their employees and their employees' families. That they are ministers running businesses. Imagine that. Imagine what happens in the world of arts and entertainment when the artists, when the entertainers become captured by Jesus. And we get Pure Flix and not Netflix. Imagine, this will probably be the most wild one. I know you're going to really have to stretch on this one. Imagine a righteous media. Yeah, imagine news outlets that told the truth, that were unbiased. Yes, that were simply reporting, here are the facts. Well, how about some of those men and women who are actually raising up Christ-centered media to replace some of those that aren't? It's happening. This is part of the restoration of righteousness. And this will turn the world upside down. Make sure I'm hearing your question properly. You're asking me if I have names of... Oh. Well, here in Minnesota, we've got Mary Irvesty, for instance, who's leading one of our major prayer initiatives. And she's got, what's the radio? Super Radio. But she's putting together networks of radio stations across the state. Because, first of all, the radio business is really not a profitable one. but she's putting together a network of radio stations across the state that are Christ-centered. Okay? So you can pray for Mary Urvesty. But that would be an example. We can go into some others maybe offline, because, yes, there are others. Yeah. Okay, platform. You want a platform? Here you go. I want you to go to commissioned.global. Commissioned.global. I'm not going to give a large commercial for them, but check them out. Commissioned.global. You're welcome. So, a dangerous Christian, again, is a follower of the teachings of Jesus Christ who has discovered his or her purpose in life and is living on mission in the full pursuit of carrying it out. I think that's the most succinct definition I can put together about what it means to be a dangerous Christian. It's the person who is all in with Jesus, who is all in with allowing the Holy Spirit to lead his life or her life, and in being led, it's running to the roar. You know, Congressman Randy Forbes, who is the head of the Congressional Prayer Caucus Foundation, and we have a state chapter of the Minnesota Prayer Caucus that Dan Hall and I we're the co-state directors. Randy wrote a book called Run to the Roar, and he gave this illustration. Out in the Serengeti, when lions are hungry, the question is, when aren't they? The male goes to some location and starts to roar. Have you ever been near a lion when he roars? You go to the Minnesota Zoo. On occasion, you'll get it, and you're still far enough away. But can you imagine, like, being, I've had friends who've actually taken safaris in Africa. They ride in jeeps that are open. These are open jeeps. There's no sides. There's no windows. There's no walls. There's no top. It's an open jeep. It's like sitting at this table and putting wheels on it. And they come this distance to a male lion. And the guide just tells them, don't move. Don't blink. Because if you move or blink, the lion sees lunch. And so one of my friends did this, and he's got on video. He's in this Jeep, and the lion is right there. And the sucker roars. And he's got it captured. When that happens, you go home and change your pants. Here's why you run to the roar. What does the Bible say about the devil? He's a toothless lion doing what? Going, prowling to and fro, looking for whom he may devour. He's the roaring lion looking for whom he may devour. How does that happen out in the Serengeti? The way it happens is you're walking this way, the lion roars, right? Well, what happens when you run that way? No, he doesn't chase you. All of the female in the pride are out there waiting for you. They're the ones who say, come to mama. Lunch is served. That's why you run to the roar. So in our culture, when somebody wants to get verbal and attack, when somebody wants to do something because you're standing up for the Lord, walk right at them. And do something like, please say that again. I just heard you say, can we have a dialogue about that? I heard Ben Carson several years ago. Sue and I were at a banquet. Ben was brought into town. And he said, it's really interesting trying to have a dialogue with my political opponents. He said, every time I want to sit down and say, can we talk about this? They yell at me. They scream at me. They curse. All of the vitriol that comes out of them. And he said, so I've learned, I just stand there. And when they're finished, I say, can we talk now? He says, then they start wind up again, and it's yell, scream, curse. He said, this can go on 2, 3, or 4 times. When they do it, they finally stop to take a breath, and I say, can we have a conversation about this now? And after about the 3rd or 4th time, they're so worn out that when you say, can we have a conversation about it now, they're too tired to have a conversation and just walk away. Sometimes people are just looking for a place to spew. You don't have to be their garbage can. But you can find a way to remain respectful and dignified, let them get it out, and then in all that time be seeking the Lord as to how you can be the one to show the grace and love of Jesus back to them, because the soft answer turns away wrath, which goes completely and diabolically against my personality. I played defense in college football. That stuff happens, I want to hit somebody. In the name of Jesus. It's proven to be ineffective. So I quit doing that last week. No, you can't do that. If we're going to be effective with the gospel, what did Jesus have to take from his accusers? What did Jesus have to take from his accusers? And didn't he say to his disciples, the world's going to hate you like they hate me because they hated me first? What he's saying is, they don't hate you. They hate me in you. It's the Jesus in you that they're hating. So now it's the Jesus in you that wants to reach out and touch. That's hard. I'm going to tell you, it is hard. It is hard. But it doesn't mean that's not what's right. And it doesn't mean that we don't stand up. It doesn't mean we don't dig in our heels. It doesn't mean we don't even push back so we don't have to be walked on. But it's learning how to have those tough conversations. It's learning how to get to the heart of a matter. It's learning how to get to the truth. Because we are ambassadors. And we're living out our mission on purpose, with intentionality. So perhaps the motto of a dangerous Christian. I just came up with this week. I actually kind of like it. You can tell me if this fits. It's in PowerPoint. It's like wet concrete. If I need to change it, I will. But here's a good start. Here's a good start for a motto for a dangerous Christian. First, live in love. Second, speak the truth. Third, follow God's call. Fourth, fear no man. And 5, turn the world upside down. Live in love, speak the truth, follow God's call, fear no man, and go turn your world upside down. And that, my friends, is dangerous Christianity.